Hey, good day, everyone. This week we were asked for a discussion thread to go over if we believe that the pilots in question should push through with their charter service or suggest the commercial air travel or road travel. So, as you see here, this is directly from my flight operations manual for the 2005 Cessna CJ1. And it's segregated by flight crew, weather, SOPs, and SMS. So let's see here. So the thing you have to ask as the flight manager is, can the flight crew perform the mission safely? But what I mean by that is there's a couple elements that we have to consider: weather, flight crew fatigue, rest facility availability, how many consecutive duty days has the crew worked, types of operation, and the flight crew experience. So weather considerations would entail is the flight path in an area of known convective activity, thunderstorms, things of that nature, and at what altitudes, if any, is there significant icing? Can the CJ1, the de-icing boots, are they going to work at a certain altitude? How high can it fly? Those kinds of things. The flight crew fatigue. Is the flight crew is the flight between the circadian low hours of 0200 to 0600? During this time, a person's normal sleep schedule is affected, severely degrading human performance. How much rest has the crew had in the past 24 hours? Rest facility availability. How many beds are available for the crew? While there's no clear advisory circulars for Part 135, resting quarters for flight crew, it is a good idea to adopt the FAA's Part 121 rules. Rest quarters are provided to the crew to obtain rest of adequate quality. Also, how many consecutive duty days has the crew worked? So let's say the crew worked 3 consecutive duty days, spanning over 14 hours. 3 consecutive duty days of 14 hours per day. The number and length of legs for each duty day. So shorter legs will be more demanding than longer ones. A 30-minute flight is going to be more demanding than a 3-hour flight per the textbook, due to the fact that critical phases of flight are going to be in a separate. Critical phases of flight are going to be shorter and much more drawn out. Similarly, more legs in a given duty day will be more taxing on the crew. Also, types of operation, day or night flight. Is this happening in day or night? Do both pilots meet night courtesy requirements? Is this a domestic or international flight? International flights operations tend to be more challenging than domestic. Also, and then we have to take into consideration flight crew experience. How many aircrafts is the PIC rated for? In the textbook, it says pilots cannot be PIC in more than 2 aircrafts due to their technical and contrasting nature. Because of this complexity and required training for today's aircrafts, pilots cannot expertly keep more than 2 aircraft systems fresh in their heads. Also, you have to take into consideration the load time and aircraft type for these junior pilots. So if all the negatives all outweigh the positives, and safety is in question, then canceling the flight and using a commercial alternative would be a better option. I'd say that the 2 biggest variables that would hinder safety and call for canceling the flight would be weather considerations, adverse convective weather considerations, and pilot fatigue. If the crew member in question is running over his time, let's say by an hour, then we have to consider how many consecutive duty days they've worked and for how long. But for the safety of everyone and for this discussion board this week in question, I'd say the commercial or road travel alternative would be the better option. So thank you.